All right, beautiful people of the world, how are you today? Aaron here bringing you daily horoscope for July 23rd. It is Friday all day. Friday. Freya, Venus days, right? The day of the lovers. Venus still in Gemini at 18 degrees, starting to create a square over there to Neptune in Pisces, right? All of the things. We love all of the things. You know, our dreams, our imagination, and the left, the right, the up, the down, falling in love with everything in life, okay? And whereas our balance, the balances, we have to be specific, right? So we got a T-square kind of going on here with Venus caught in between Neptune and dreamy Pisces, right? The black hole, the abyss, the nothing, the everything, the oneness, and then the very specific, finite, focused, articulate, analytical moon in Virgo, okay? Very focused, very specific. Now, Mercury, which is in Cancer here, rules both Gemini and Virgo. Here, this is, this AM radio I talk about all the time. You know, it's both sides of the coin. It's the noise. You're getting the static. Over here, this is this Mercury kind of satellite radio, digital radio, very clean, single channel. You're not going to get bleed from the other, right? So it's very, very, very focused. The energy here, our emotional need is very focused. So this T-square, what's going on? This can be quite a lovely feeling. Surprisingly, considering this is tension, opposition, and two squares. But it's the planets that we're dealing with. Venus here in Gemini. Okay? What is Venus caught between? Well, it's caught between saying be focused on what I love, what I need, right? And then there's the huge, eye in the sky, apple pie dreams, this big, life could be, or what could be, it's like this wonder, all right? So we have this sense of wonder in this childlike imagination, and well, I could be anything. What was it? Rodney Dangerfield didn't start being a comedian until he was over 50 years old, something like that. Sam Jackson didn't start acting until he was over 35, or maybe even older than that, to be honest with you. So there's this, where am I now? What's coming? What could possibly be? What's the potential outcome of something? And what is the dream versus reality? Where it's like, I want to fly one day. It's like, well, okay, well, I need a parachute, or I need a hang glider or something. I can't just fly like with nothing, So it's like, where does the dream become? Where does the, imagining, improbability? Sometimes we can fixate, excuse me, I got a hair in my eye. We can fixate on something, and especially with this Capricorn energy, especially Jupiter specifically in Capricorn, we can say this one thing, this one specific thing in my life. Like once this thing is accomplished, or this, once I have this partner that has my back and whatever, or once I have this job or this career, or once I graduate, once I have this accomplishment under my belt and I achieve this sort of success, then these things will fall into place in my life. And this energy is saying that's not necessarily the case, until, a little bit of a release on that kind of a pressure on yourself, right? That it's just like the universe is going to have, the cards are going to fall, how the cards fall, the dominoes fall, how the dominoes fall, but strategic moving, that's something that's kind of interesting, right? Like, you look at something like that, like you look at chance, poker players, it's a lot of chance. I'm not the best poker player in the world. But it's interesting how this game of chance, you often see the same like big, professional players at the end game table. And it's like, why is it? It's about knowing how to play our cards, knowing when to act, how to act. And this moon in Virgo is amplifying that, knowing how to act, when to act, and being specific and focused on when to play our hand and when not to, So this little T-square that's going on here, things are being questioned. We want to make sure that we're on the right path, And it's not too soon to start something different. right? No matter what age we are, we can start something. We can have this fresh aspect, this fresh start. And as long as we're being specific about it and saying yes. You know, I watched a video yesterday a friend sent me about Peter Dinklage, you know, as a actor. And at the age of 29, he said, I'm going to do this and this and this, and I'm sticking to my plan. You know, and this moon here is like, I'm sticking to my plan. Now, as the day continues, right, sticking to my plan here. And again, this can be a lovely aspect, even though there's tension. It can create a lot of loving stuff. Now we've got these trines happening here between the moon, focused, specific, right? Balancing out. Sometimes, again, we know where we want to go and what we want or who we want based on what we do not want. Sometimes we don't have to have that clear-cut answer, but as long as we know what we don't want, that can bring us clarity to what we do want, right? And now we have this little septile happening here between the sun and the moon, okay? Really powerful, because this is saying, like, well, look, we've got the courage, we've got the energy, we've got the strength, and we have the stable emotional focus, okay? And this, again, is really, these Venus and Neptune is very much aiding this month in this, being focused on it, whatever it is that we don't want or what it is that we do want. And now up here to Jupiter and to Pluto and to Saturn, this is how our day is going to continue. This Friday is going to continue, is creating these trines over there to those three big dogs, right? So we're staying focused. And remember, July 24th and July 25th, this is the end of the Saturn septile, Uranus, Saturn septile, Neptune, you know, the Neptune-Uranus septile will continue until August. However, this Neptune, dreams, imagination, what could it be, bring it into reality, make it real. Saturn connection, break through the past, break through what no longer serves, let go of energy that no longer serves you. You see here, we've got this sesqui-square and square, moon squaring the south node as we continue. Again, this is that tension picking back up, and it's just like, again, what we love, where we want to move toward, we have to stay focused on that, because there is going to be, once we determine that, then we release. We have this beautiful release here between Uranus, the south node, and the moon, very focused in the sign of Virgo. Okay, so this Friday is huge, and how it's leading into our weekend is extremely important. You know, I want to talk about something else too. Thank you. One of our friends just posted to me about the Neowise comet. You know, we'll talk about that for a quick second. Neowise is a comet. Comets are really cool, as they're balls of fire made out of earth, frozen in space, moving through the air, right? So we have all four elements in one thing, moving through the air. And right now, Neowise, the comet, is very visible early in the morning. Today on the 23rd, it was actually really visible. So for Friday the 24th, still be visible in the morning time before the sun rises. You'll be able to see it in the sign of Cancer, right? So Neowise being the sign of Cancer, you know, they say that comets they come into our atmosphere to release pressure, to release tension, right? So there's a lot of pressure and a lot of tension going on right now. And the fact that this comet with all four elements is here for us in the sign of Cancer, reminding us of our nurturing aspects, reminding us wherever we're going to be compassionate, to be empathetic. You know, we had it's like there's no question that we've had the North Node for a year and a half in Cancer, and then we still have two eclipses you know, in Cancer, while the nodes have already shifted. And then we have 2 new moons in Cancer this year. There's a reason for that, because we're going to be so distracted and detached because of the use of the internet. You know, this, I talked about it when we were, you know, earlier this year, when this Saturn Aquarius video, right? And then as soon as it happened, we hit this lockdown, Saturn entered Aquarius, and the exact same thing I was saying, I hope doesn't happen, where we're literally stuck communicating like this behind screens. It's exactly what happened. And now it's like we have to remember the care, the gentle touch and caress of a human, the affectionate touch of an embrace, you know. or to stare and look at someone, like truly look at someone in the face. And it's not always about words, but it's about that feeling of just being there with somebody. And it's that support structure, right? Emotional support from one to another, caring. So we have this very detached, we're separate right now, it's going to amplify. That energy is going to amplify come 2021, when Saturn comes back into Aquarius. And this comet here is to release some of that tension. It is to remind us of our care, remind us of our love, remind us of our mothering, man or woman, doesn't matter. We all have a mothering, divine feminine entity, energy within us. So this comet is here to clear the energy that's this over patriarchal, you know what I'm talking about, overly masculine energy. And that can also be in the feminine, it goes both ways. We've seen this rise as the rise of, feminism has come up, which is a beautiful thing. We also see the toxic masculinity within the feminists, and now it's just like, we got to balance all of this out. This is a happy, caduceus kind of, right? So this comet is here to clear some of the air, okay? And again, it's really cool that it's mostly visible right now, while also the moon is in Virgo, because this is creating, emotional connection to that comet. So yes, getting focused on what we want to release, allowing the release to happen, and to believing it. That's something that's really important, is allowing it to sink in, allowing this healing to truly say, yes, I am healed. I don't have to go back to my crutches. I don't have to go back to this old thing. And now it's this path, this direction, move forward over here. That is a different life, a different path that no longer serves. I'm on this road, and this is where I'm headed. To the light, Carol Ann. All right, that's enough out of me for today. Happy Friday, my friends. It's the start of a beautiful weekend. As always, thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.